Meanwhile, dozens of homeless people are camping out right on one of Bakersfield's busiest streets. A viewer contacted Eyewitness News to ask, isn't this a hazard? And why isn't anyone doing something about it?
Eyewitness News reporter Carol Ferguson asked those questions and gets a look for us. Carol?
We are right here on busy South Union Avenue, just a few yards away. You can see behind me, lining the backside of a small wall, a series of tents and little shelters put together with scraps of wood and tarps and what have you. City officials call this a pretty big homeless encampment, and they tell me that there are hurdles to getting something like this cleared out. We also hear it takes time to help homeless people like these. How many people do you think are out here?
I'd say about 25, maybe.
Here on the east side of Union, a bit south of Highway 58, makeshift places to live, somewhat hidden by tumbleweeds. So what have you got here? You've got a tent?
Yeah, I'm getting a bigger one. I'm getting that one.
Okay.
And that one's not big enough.
It's mostly tucked behind a wall. When I'm here, a woman ducks out of the bigger tent and leaves. I asked Maddie Osmond how long she's lived here.
Probably almost a year.
I would call it a homeless encampment.
From Bakersfield Code Enforcement, Phil Burns agrees with my count, 12 or 15 shelters here for quite a few people.
The number I was provided back was somewhere between 22 and 30 individuals.
They found out about it in November.
I know a couple of the businesses along Daniels Way have concerns. Somewhat an element that's unsavory to their patrons, to their businesses.
Across Union's the superintendent of schools bus facility. A driver tells me she's afraid with all the homeless people living here. There's carts with belongings, trash piled up. Osmond says they bring water in bottles. And then what about someplace to go to the bathroom?
Do in the bucket, go dig a hole and put it in it.
That's a problem.
Burns says the area is clearly a nuisance, but it's private property.
We need to make sure that, for one, the property owner hasn't told these individuals that they can stay here.
It's taking time to reach the owners. He says it's in a trust. But I ask if owners had apartments with no water or sewage, couldn't people be removed?
You are absolutely correct.
There are rules for buildings, but here...
I don't have a building. So, again, if this was a building and they were living there, it would be real easy to remove the individuals from a building.
They say it's illegal here.
We've seen homeless people removed from places like along the river. Burns says that's public land covered by a rule against camping.
This being on private property, we can't apply that same ordinance to this property.
Even though it's a nuisance?
That's correct.
At the property on Union, once they try everything to reach the property owners,
push comes to shove, this city may end up having to abate the situation.
Telling the people they have 72 hours to take their things and leave.
The trauma of a sweep is devastating.
From United Way, Christine Lawler says local groups have been here weekly offering services and help.
A lot of times people choose, they do sadly choose at first and second offer to not get housing.
Why not go to the shelter?
Because I can't take my dog.
And she's right, but
their resources are limited, but they do exist, and we can often connect them with help that's needed.
Lawler says case managers keep going out.
They know these individuals by name on a first-name basis, and they build a friendship.
They try to get people into housing, partnering with officials in their efforts.
We really want the individuals that really want help, we want to get them into housing.
They respond, he says, within the law.
It's a very sensitive situation when you're trying to also assist the businesses, the individuals, and trying not to step on someone's property rights.
Now this evening out here I've seen some people in these little structures, but they ducked back out of sight. I was told by the Homeless Collaborative that they plan to have what they call an outreach out here sometime in the next couple weeks. Now we mentioned to you the superintendent of schools bus barn, which is right across the way. They tell me that they're not sure whether this was related or not, but in the last couple of weeks there apparently was someone who may have been sleeping in a bus overnight. So they have added extra security patrols to their facility as well. Meanwhile, the city says they will continue to try to reach the property owners here and take care of this situation. We're live on South Union. Back to you.
All right, Carol, thank you.